to raising awareness and taking action against the exploitation of children in the workforce. And in sports news, we look back on Gambia's narrow loss to Gabon, which has further damaged their World Cup qualification prospects. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay. And I am Jana Bosonko. Now, President Adama Barrow has received an update at State House on the report of findings and recommendations of Gambia's first national dialogue, which he organized earlier this year. The president pledged his support for the implementation of the report's recommendations. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the rest of that story.
More than 3 months have passed since the Gambia's first ever national dialogue. Representatives from all political parties and civil society participated in the dialogue, offering divergent views on the current state and future of the country. On Wednesday, President Barrow received the preparatory committee of the National Dialogue to be briefed on the findings and recommendations from the dialogue. Dr. Cherno Omar Bari gives a presentation on the key highlights of the report.
Here the government should complete all reforms. Here we're talking about the security reform, elections, etc., and implement all the recommendations of the commissions and work on the draft constitution. And that the government to encourage the independence of regulatory bodies by creating environment for technically informed decision making.
The presentation spotlights the political, cultural and socio-economic concerns of the participants in the dialogue. Some of the recommendations are at the core of government's ongoing reform program across critical sectors of the country. The president underscores his government's commitment to dialogue being at the very heart of his governance for sustainable development.
We are right now discussing about the constitution. We have started it page by page. We all contributing towards it so that we have a new draft and then we will present it to the National Assembly for enactment. So it is our responsibility, all of us, especially civil society, because we see you as neutral. We see you as referees, so that you can mediate, you can be referees between political parties or communities or religious leaders, so that we can have consensus.
President Barrow reacts to the report with remarks that manifest his solidarity and support for the recommendations, recognizing our collective stake in the progress and prosperity of our country. Dominating the attendees at this event are some of the brightest young sons and daughters of the land who belong to a generation of emerging leaders. President Barrow shares some words of wisdom with them while reassuring them of his government's commitment to taking on board the report's findings and recommendations.
Young ones, we call on you to be patient. Rome was not built in a day. It takes time before you get to that level. But if you are not patient, you might crash on the way. And that's my advice to the young ones. On that note, I seize this opportunity to thank the entire team, thank the politicians, thank the Gambian people for coming out to come and join and be part of this very important project. It's a project that can be a legacy, and I think it will be a good legacy for that matter. I will assure you that government will work with you, look at the recommendations, and do everything possible to make sure we implement the recommendation.
In February, President Barrow organized a national dialogue during which Gambians from all walks of life convened under one roof, each bringing their hopes, concerns and aspirations for a brighter future. This update from the preparatory committee members is the next stage on that journey. Mamadou Lamin Choi, QTV News.
In another show of support for the sports sector, particularly football, the Gambia's most innovative GSM company, QCell, on Wednesday signed a partnership agreement with GRTS to broadcast Euro 2024 matches live. And Sumana Isonyasi was at the signing ceremony, and this is his report.
This is perhaps the biggest news football fans in the Gambia have been waiting for, as QCell once again demonstrates the company's drive to ensure that they don't miss out on what is undoubtedly one of the world's biggest footballing events, the European Championship, popularly called Euro 2024. The tournament, which kicks off in Munich on Friday, June 14th, will feature 24 teams, including some of the biggest footballing nations across Europe. As the football world anticipates the start of the tournament, QCell yet again partners with GRTS to bring live broadcasts of all games. Mohamed Jah, chairman of the Q Group, says Wednesday's event demonstrates the company's commitment to working with partners such as GRTS to provide access to global events such as the Euros by ensuring that Gambians and football fans are able to watch the games live from the comfort of their homes. And while he acknowledged Gambian support to the Q Group, he implores them to continue supporting the Q Group by patronizing their services.
Today is a very happy moment for us at Q Group, because yet again we are fulfilling one of our commitments to the public. Using Suñu Bos as a slogan is not easy. It's a very challenging task, being in the environment we are in. But I'm happy that the Q Group family is able to uphold the principles of the Suñu Bos.
Speaking earlier, Ami Cisse, senior marketing manager at QCell, underscored the significance of this partnership with GRTS and went on to highlight previous partnerships between the two institutions, which he says has enjoyed a cordial working relationship since QCell's inception in 2009.
As we signed the AFCON agreement in January, we made a commitment to continue to work with GRTS. This is another step, and I'm sure in the future there would be more fruitful partnerships as well. We're very excited to bring Euro 2024 to the general public, because we all know that the Gambia is full of football lovers, and this would be an opportunity for them to watch all the games on GRTS in partnership with QCell. So we're very grateful for this partnership, and we know that it would be a success, and we look forward to many more partnerships in the future.
For Alhaji Modou Diouf, Deputy Director General of GRTS, and Mam Jeng, Head of Marketing at GRTS, this partnership with QCell demonstrates the company's commitment to its Suñu Bos motto. And as they commend QCell for the cordial working relationship which they also enjoy with other Q Group companies, particularly QTV, they gave assurances of their preparedness to show the games live.
Saja and team, our thanks and appreciation, and on our side, be assured 3 times, we will try to make sure we excel, just as we did before. But in anything, there are learning processes. There could be hitches here and there, but we are the same family. It's not a competition, but a complementarity.
Today, again, if I could remember, because for me, I've been in the institution for so many years, and I've been working in the marketing department for so many years. So I know, what QCell have been doing to GRTS. Looking at the past years and looking at today, it seems that Suñu Bos is ours. Coming up today, I promise you, CEO, that we would work with you shoulder to shoulder, so that we would make sure that the Suñu Bos is always GRTS Suñu Bos.
Since its inception in 2009, QCell has been a strong supporter of the sports sector, especially football, as evident in their interventions at various sporting facilities across the country. QCell, the official GSM partner of the senior national team, continues to offer support to the football community in the Gambia through various interventions. And this partnership with GRTS ahead of the commencement of Euro 2024 exemplifies the company's status as the leading private sector supporter of football in the Gambia. Ansumana Isonyasi for KTV News.
Q Group Chairman Mohamed Jah on Wednesday reaffirmed the group's commitment to national development. He was speaking at the signing ceremony between QCell and GRTS for the Euro 2024 Games in Germany. Ansumana Isonyasi again.
Known for his advocacy for people-centered business and patriotism, Chairman Jah reaffirms the Q Group's commitment to contributing to national development. As a leading business group in the private sector, the Q Group of companies has made significant interventions across various sectors over the years, notably in the education, health, sports and agricultural sectors. However, in yet another show of nationalism, CEO Mohamed Jah implored Gambians to patronize Gambian businesses more as the proceeds they make are plowed back into the country. He cites, among other things, the Q Group's interventions over the years, particularly in supporting the National Waste Management Drive, as evident in their partnership with KMC for the procurement of compactor trucks, interventions in the transport sector through the procurement of over 33 buses, and the most recent, the procurement of 87 vehicles for the recently held OIC Summit, all on a pre-finance basis.
We do things in the right way. That's how we are brought up. You know, we come from very strong religious families, and we abide by rules and regulation. We don't want anybody to hand us any gift or anything. We want to work and sweat and get our results through our sweat.
While calling on Gambians to always endeavor to show the good image of the country, especially in the media, Chairman Jah says QTV was established to project the good image of the country to the outside world and to provide timely and accurate information for members of the public, adding that since it was granted license to operate, QTV has, through its quality programming, shown that it is worthy of a license.
In the media, we were the catalyst for government to open up the TV thing. Without QTV applying and being have a license, no other private TV would have come on board. And I think for the past 7 years or 8 years we've got the license, we have proven to the whole country that we are worthy of being given a license. A lot of young people look up to us to move forward. So let us encourage each other. Let us work. Let us be positive-minded, you know, and let us believe that also we have good people in our society. We cannot just, you know, say that everybody in the society is bad. You know, we are good people. Gambians are very good people. Let us try to encourage that.
His remarks on the Q Group's contribution were echoed by the Deputy Director of GRTS, Alhaji Modu Juf, who also spoke highly of the Q Group and their interventions. He called on other companies to emulate the Q Group in complementing national development.
Let us be action-oriented to prove a point so that we reach at the end of the tunnel where we want this nation to be. Nobody will come from any other part of the world to come to the Gambia and say, yes, they will say, I want to develop the Gambia, but the onus, 1,000,000%, if there is 1,000,000% words, belongs to all of us to push this country from where we want to take it.
The Q Group is a multinational business conglomerate operating in various countries across the world and comprising of several companies across various sectors. The group, which is the largest employer in the Gambia, is widely recognized for its tax compliance and support to national development through various initiatives and development schemes. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Now, congratulations to QCell and GRTS for that partnership. From that story, we will go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have local news stories. To stay with us.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunyubus. We innovate, orders follow. Terms and conditions apply. Tubaski Fiesta! Celebrate this Tubaski with the biggest and the cheapest data and voice promo in the Gambia. Get social media bundles for all your favorite sites: Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Snapchat, Telegram, and X for as low as $15 for 100 megabytes or $60 for 1 gigabyte. You can't beat that! Or buy the Kacha bundle and get 1 gigabyte data with unlimited voice calls for just $100 and stay connected with family, friends, and loved ones. Dial *343# and choose option 1 to subscribe. So rush now and be part of the Tubaski Fiesta with QCell. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Senior Boss. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jennifer Sonko. Now, ahead of the International Day of Family Remittances commemoration on June 16, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, on Tuesday invited stakeholders in the digital economy sector for a day-long consultation on economic contribution of migrants and the need to support domestic and international financial inclusion efforts. And Samana Sunyasi was there, and this is his report.
International remittances represent an important source of income for families of migrants and has over the years become a major contributor to the GDP of many countries around the world, including the Gambia. As they gather to celebrate the invaluable financial contribution of migrants, providers of digital economy services that facilitate the sending and receiving of remittances discuss ways to improve their services and enhance microfinance products towards improving financial inclusion in the Gambia. Alvaro Lario, president of IFAD, who delivered a virtual statement, calls for more appreciation of the huge economic contribution of migrants. And as he advocates for more access to services that facilitate easy flow of remittances, the IFAD president reveals that they expect global remittances to exceed $5 trillion in the next 5 years. Enrica Pelacani, head of EU cooperation to the Gambia, and Lamin Kamara, permanent secretary, Ministry of Education and Digital Economy, also spoke on the contribution of migrants to improving the lives and livelihoods of their families back home, and how the formulation of domestic instruments can promote financial inclusion through sound digital platforms. They also called for the reduction of the cost of remittances.
The European Union hosts about 87 million international migrants. And every year these migrants send approximately 63 billion euro back to their families at home. And IFAD estimates that 75% of these remittances are used to cover essential items: food, medical expenses, school fees, housing, and the rest, 25%, very often is invested, saved or invested in assets building, or in activities that generate income.
In 2023, total remittances to the Gambia reached $746 million US. This represents an enormous contribution to the country's economy, equal to 33% of the GDP. However, it is not just about the money. It is about the dedication of migrants to improving the lives of those they leave behind, the livelihood of their families and communities back home.
With the Gambia having made significant strides to meet the SDG target of less than 3% for the cost of remittances, notably the recent reduction from 16.1% to 6.9%. Abdul Sise, director of the Forex Bureau's Supervision Department at the Central Bank of the Gambia, highlights how remittances positively impact the country's annual GDP and joined previous speakers in advocating for a reduction in cost of remittances.
We know that every year there's over 230 million women and men who send over $500 billion in remittances to more than 800 million relatives in low and middle income countries. In some, more than 1 billion people are directly involved either in sending or receiving remittances.
The Gambia's digital economy sector has in recent years witnessed significant developments in the drive for financial inclusion. This is evident by the introduction of the country's first and leading mobile money company, QMoney, the first to be authorized to terminate international remittances into e-wallets, an innovative service that allows the transfer of remittances with less hassle. Antoine Esonyasi for QTV News.
From that story by Antoine Esonyasi, let's take a look at news beyond our borders. June 12 each year is recognized as World Day Against Child Labor, a day dedicated to raising awareness and taking action against the exploitation of children in the workforce. Loliam Kamara looked at the significance of the day and filed in this report.
The theme for this year's World Commemoration is Let's Act on Our Commitments End Child Labor. This day serves as a reminder that every child deserves a safe and happy childhood, free from the burden of labor and with access to education and opportunities for growth. This year's World Day focuses on celebrating the 25th
We truly apologize for that interruption. We will take a look at the story by Lola M. Kamara on World Day Against Child Labor, and we'll be right back.
The theme for this year's World Commemoration is Let's Act on Our Commitments and Child Labor. This day serves as a reminder that every child deserves a safe and happy childhood, free from the burden of labor and with access to education and opportunities for growth. This year's World Day focuses on celebrating the 25th anniversary of the adoption of the Worst Forms of Child Labor Convention 1999. Admittedly, there have been significant strides taken to improve child labor in recent years. Many organizations and governments have implemented laws and regulations to protect children from exploitation in the workforce. Additionally, there has been a growing awareness and push for companies to ensure that their supply chains are free from child labor. However, child labor continues to be a major issue in many parts of the world, including here in the Gambia, and there is still much work to be done to completely eradicate it. According to the International Labour Organization, an estimated 30% of children in the Gambia are involved in child labor. Many of these children work in agriculture, domestic service, and street vending, often in dangerous and exploitative conditions. This not only deprives them of their right to education and a safe childhood, but also perpetuates the cycle of poverty and hinders the country's economic development. Efforts are being made to address this issue, but child labor remains a significant problem in the Gambia, despite laws banning this. This World Day Against Child Labor calls are being renewed for the effective implementation of the ILO Convention number 182 on the worst forms of child labor. This relates to eliminating all forms of slavery or practices similar to slavery, such as the sale and trafficking of children, debt, bondage, and serfdom, and forced or compulsory labor, among other conventions. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
We are sending some love and light to all child victims. Well, that is all we have time for in this edition of QTV News. Join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of... Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching.